Greetings, my name is Daniel Tull, and I am going to go over part 3 of 3D planning work and talk about how we process models and information. So first and foremost, almost all my projects start off with Placemaker. I do own it, and it's an extension that lets you bring in high-resolution aerials, 3D building massings, terrain, and a lot more. It tends to serve as the basis for all our context. So basically, I'll bring in a location. You can bring in it's 10 square miles of information in, and then populate it with these buildings that you can see on the screen here. After that, I'll take the graphic. This was the master plan graphic that I was provided by our planning team. I will bring that into SketchUp, scale it and orient it and locate it over the aerial. I might do a video on these in the future. They take a little bit of time consuming to do, but you can get them in there. I also asked the team to give me road center lines, and I'll show you why. So I get road center lines, and from the road center lines, I draft the master plan in SketchUp. This is surprisingly quick. I do a lot of drafting in SketchUp. Very used to it. I have a CAD drafting background as well. And then I apply the same color scheme onto it. So these are all surfaces, and there's going to be a tutorial on this as well. I'm going to eventually get to everything. Hopefully, we'll see how much there is. There's just so much information to cover. I then populate that master plan with these pre-built houses. And yes, everything is hand-placed. It's not as time-consuming as you might think. It does take some time to do, but this is the way you do 3D master planning. This whole project that you're seeing was one person over the period of 1 week, so 40 hours of billable time. And then we get to this cohesive master plan that started from that site plan that they gave us, and then with all the buildings that we have. Where do we get these buildings? After 20 years of modeling, we've collected a lot of buildings. If you purchase Placemaker, I actually think it comes with a building bundle. So what these components that you're seeing, and there's another building bundle I'll eventually make available. But these are all really important. They could be both generic or very specific, and we apply them and place them in the model. The other thing we do is we build all these roads. We model all the roads. We don't do that manually. You're going to suffer through this little video here if it plays. I have a video on Urban Paint. Urban Paint is the other tool that I use that I own. You can go to sketchurbanpaint.com. All the links are below. And you're watching the hyperspeed version of me building this road profile. Remember, I asked at the beginning of this project, can you please give me the road center lines? And that way, with the road center lines, and they're giving me the widths based off their CAD plans, I can produce very exact profiles that build this entire streetscape. Urban Paint is really powerful in doing this and providing a high level of detail. You do have to be careful. What I discovered doing this was that I put in a lot of geometry into the model, and all that extra geometry, I had to go and figure out how to deal with it and lower it down. So just something to consider in the way that you work with this stuff. Here, I saved a profile, and I'm going back and I'm adding an intersection, and there you go. It produced the model that I needed for it. And then going back, we did that to the entire model. So the entire road network was produced. You can see it here again. Using Urban Paint, took a couple of hours to do this. That's all, using an automated process and building the profiles and then turning on the buildings. And this provides the detailed 3D master planning. Next part is we bring it into Lumion, quickly populate it with plants, textures, and everything else. Now we have the context aerial behind it. We bring in the buildings, we layer everything in Lumion to control. SketchUp is very robust at this point, 20 years after it's been produced. It can handle some pretty significantly large models, and that's actually only going to improve over time. Lumion wants you to bring all that information in on layers, so that's what we do. Again, at some point there'll be more videos on how that process is accomplished, and I can show that. Maybe I'll show it with this video. But looking at the level of detail we're able to add through SketchUp and then getting to Lumion with these buildings in just under a week is really the goal in trying to create these hyper-realistic, these hyper-detailed, high-level master plan. So that's the process in a nutshell. There's also AI-generated CAD files and surveys that are available. I'm going to go over this in another presentation just to give you a little bit of teaser of what this is, stuff that's come online that people haven't fully used. Thank you very much. If you like what you see, please subscribe and share and hit that like button. And by all means, leave us comments and let us know what else you would like to see from us and any other comments that you have. Thank you very much, and remember to continually have a good day today.